Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a good day today. We're going to be in Life of Fred Begin Teaching. If you have a Begin Teaching book, go ahead and get your book out now. Remember, you can press pause at any time. Today, we're going to be in Chapter 5, page 37, and the title is Searching for Lesson Plan. There was a thick layer of dust because no one had lived in the shack for years. It had been used as a school storage shed. The old computer, the pictures on the wall, the old file cabinets were all things that had been used at the school but were no longer needed. On the other hand, Fred liked his Gauss house. It was twice as large as his office at the university. It had a nice tree in front of it. It even had a bed, something that he didn't have in his office. For 5 years, he had been sleeping in a sleeping bag underneath his desk. He was happy. One key to happiness is not demanding that everything be perfect before you can be happy. The dust was 5 centimeters thick. If he were back in Kansas, he would have called it 2 inches. 5 centimeters almost exactly equals 2 inches. He wanted to think in metric units because he was not in America. It was almost 10 p.m. on Tuesday night. He wasn't that sleepy because he had been snoozing when Sylvia had driven him to Dubbo. He suddenly realized what his number one priority was. I've got to teach English tomorrow. He thought maybe there are lesson plans and English books at the school. The school was right next door. A nightlight had been left on, but the front door was locked. Fred went around to the back and crawled through a window that had been left open. At his university in Kansas, everyone knew Fred. He could wander into any building, day or night, without any problem. But he wasn't in Kansas. He was in Dubbo. Stop. Those are run-on sentences. 2 sentences that are smashed together with a comma. This is called a comma splice. Bad, bad, bad. When I, your author, was in high school, one of my teachers insisted that we never write run-on sentences. If an essay contained even one run-on, she would fail the paper. F. But he wasn't in Kansas. He was in Dubbo. Every sentence ends with a period, exclamation point, or a question mark. Every sentence begins with a capital letter. What Fred didn't know was that he had tripped the burglar alarm, which sent a silent signal to the police department. While Fred was looking through the school for lesson plans, he was singing to himself, "Don't call Wagga, Wagga, Wagga." The policeman got off his horse and tapped on the window. Fred came to the front entrance and opened the door. Each one was doing his job. Fred was getting ready to teach tomorrow. The policeman was responding to what he thought was a burglary. Fred smiled and said, "Hi." The policeman frowned and asked, "Where are your parents?" If Fred had been a teenager or an adult, the question would have been, "What in blazes are you doing here?" But Fred was a little kid. The policeman thought he was 3 or 4 years old. Without waiting for an answer to his previous question, the policeman asked, "Where is your home? Shouldn't you be in bed?" "My home for the summer is the house next door." "Wait a minute. That's the storage shed for the school." The cop thought Fred was just a little kid making up a bunch of stories. Fred continued, "I'm the new English teacher for this school. I was looking for lesson plans and couldn't find them at my house. So as the old saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So I headed over here to the school to see what I could find." He tried again. "Tell me where your real home is." This was an easier question for Fred than explaining where his parents are. "My regular home is in room 314 of the math building at Kitten's University. I have taught math there for 5 years." The policeman tried not to laugh. He knew that 4-year-olds couldn't have taught university math for 5 years. Normally, he would have taken this child back home to his parents, but in this case, he couldn't find out where Fred lived. Instead, he said, "Let's go and see Margie, a social worker for small fry." A social worker for small fry is an appositive phrase. It is in apposition to Margie. Here are some appositive phrases. Fred Gauss, math professor at Kittens. President, Washington. Board Chairman, Jennifer Glory. Okay, are you ready for your turn to play? Go ahead and grab a sheet of paper and a pencil. Remember, you can press pause at any time. Let's begin. Number 1. Is this a run-on? He ate a Stanthony's combination pizza, the best he had ever tasted. Number 2. Is this a run-on? He knew the pizza would soon be served. It had been 10 minutes since he had ordered it. Okay, here are your answers. Go ahead and check your work. Now, are you ready for today's homeschooling meme? Here you go. I hope you enjoyed that one. Join me here tomorrow for Chapter 6. Bye for now.